joining us is, I wouldn't say he's an old friend because that would mean he's old, but Stevie Graham, who I still remember just running around Gallagher here as a youngster, and it's a long time since that happened, but Stevie Graham joining us down in Florida, and no, not in the bubble yet. We're going to get into that. Stevie's in Tampa. How's it going, Mr. Denver Nuggets player development guy?
Going. How you doing, Tom Dirato? It's good to hear from you, man. Just down here in Florida trying to work on my tan down here. It's year-round, but I'm working on it.
Let me tell you, you're a Florida guy. You and your brother came out of there, so you can't get away from that state, can you?
Can't get away from Florida, man. You know, once you put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears in here, it becomes your home away from home. So, and it's a destination spot too. So everybody wants to come back. So I just can't get rid of it.
Yeah, I think you can emphasize the sweat part. I think you can sweat at any time in Florida, right?
Oh, yeah, you definitely can sweat. You can walk outside your front door, and 10 minutes later, you're completely drenched. So you have to have AC here. Must have an AC.
Okay, let's get to it. You're not in the bubble yet with the NBA. The Nuggets are there, and every team went through this. There's just so many people they could take to the bubble. But you anticipate you'll be joining the Nuggets here shortly. But what's it been like? Any kind of good stories you could tell us as far as the bubble is concerned?
I mean, it's been kind of an arduous, ordeal with it all. You know, the testing before the team and everybody left to come down to Florida, we had to do tests every other day. So guys that were positive tests, negative tests, or whatever, either they had to quarantine or they were continuing to get the test. But as far as coming down here, I have not joined the team yet. They're all over in Orlando. I'm in Tampa right now, just waiting to hear from our management and coaching staff to let me know when I can come in. Probably be around when the playoffs get ready to either start or towards the middle of it, and see if I can get over there and do what I do and help you guys out.
It's bad timing when I got you on the phone and you probably got one eye on the TV, or if you're watching the scrimmage that the Nuggets are going through right now. But what kind of message have you gotten from the Nuggets teammates, even some of your fellow coaches? It's just out of it's not normal. It's not something we're used to.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely not normal. When guys first got there, they said they had to do, I think it's either 5 days or 7 days or something. You can't leave the hotel room. Maid services, they bring the food to you. They drop it outside your door. You guys got to pick it up and, stuff like that. But it's been kind of an ordeal. Guys are doing the best they can, over there. And from what I've heard from talking to the coaches and the players, it's been a pretty good training camp so far. The guys are working hard. We do not have all the players that are there as of yet, but hopefully they'll be getting there real soon here.
I'm assuming that some of your players did not make it because of tests, so what's the deal?
Yeah, I'm thinking that's the reason. Some of the guys may have, or I'm not 100% sure. They don't really tell us all the details, but I think maybe some of the guys either had a false negative or, positive negative test over there, and they make them quarantine, for how many days it is before you can actually come and join the bubble. And for the guys who are in the bubble, if you break protocol, I think you have to do like a 10-day quarantine deal there too. So it's a little strict, as it should be. So,
be honest, when you first heard of this plan, if you will, the bubble plan,
right,
were you skeptical? Did you think it would work? What was your first reaction?
I honestly did not think it would work, and then now the fact that Florida is the epicenter of the COVID right now for the United States, it's just kind of like, why are we going down to Florida, and why you guys can't do anything? But I think the NBA has done a great job as far as constructing all of this, making sure all the guys have all the stuff they need as far as living arrangements, food, workout facilities, and guys bringing their own people like barbers and stuff. So. It's just a little weird. So the times are different right now. Times are a little weird, and hopefully we'll get back to the normal here soon.
But the common denominator is it's not going to work if everybody doesn't do it, right? I mean, it's if one or two don't do it, then all of a sudden, the old saying, the bubble's punctured, and then you got troubles everywhere.
Well, I'm still waiting to hear from a couple of guys that say that hey, they've gone out the bubble, or some guys from our team. I think there's been 2 guys already. I'm not sure who they are, but. Some guys have already broken protocol, and they'd have to go into quarantine. So I'm optimistically hopeful that, it's going to work out. I had a lot of doubts in the beginning, but, today's the first day of scrimmages, and looks like it's going well so far.
What about the part of being away from your family and kind of being isolated, if you will, only with your teammates and your coaches? That's not that's not what you guys do. I mean, you're a social bunch. I got to think initially that had to be something was just a little out of the ordinary, to say the least, but had to be a little disconcerting, isn't it?
Right. Well, it's very tough. Just from doing it for regular season, being away from your family, traveling as much as we do in the NBA schedule, it's hard. So the fact that you have to go to the bubble, you have to be over there for 6 to 8 weeks, no family, can't go in the bubble, can't go out of the bubble. So Zoom, Skype, FaceTime, all that stuff is it's super key right now. And it's hard, guys. It's an adjustment for everybody, and I think everybody's doing a pretty good job with it. They have each other, and everybody's used to being with each other on the road, so just had to do it just a little bit longer.
You took the next question away. I got to think you better hope that you have a team that gets along with one another, because it's difficult enough when you like one another, but if you had a team that went their own separate ways, this might be impossible to do.
Yeah, I don't really see anybody, being able to stay around somebody that they don't like and being in the bubble in that situation. I mean, of course, you're going to have your riffs here and there with guys, but it's one of these situations where you got to come together and you got to figure it out. And if you don't like somebody, just you don't have to be around them. Go away, stay in your room, do what you need to do. But I'm sure the situation is tough as is, but it's one of these things you just have to figure out.
Have you been in contact frequently with guys from the organization that are already in the bubble? Have you talked to them?
Yeah, I talked to frequently. I talked to our coaching staff and a couple of our president and general managers, and those guys. Just to touch base with those guys, make sure everybody's doing. They check in on me, I check in on them. So there's definitely conversation and communication going on between us.
Player development, and we had this conversation a while back when we had you on. And that's a big term. That's a general job title, if you will. But kind of be specific with us. What is it you do kind of on a daily basis?
Okay, so player development is, I like to say it's a big umbrella, because not only do I have to do on the court stuff with the guys, I have to do off the court stuff with the guys. As far as on the court, I have to do practice planning. I have to actually get out there with the guys, put them through drills, show them how to do the drills. One of the biggest misconceptions is that, a lot of these kids, they come from college or overseas here. They have no idea how to be, man. They have no work ethic. So I have to basically give them some sort of structure and, basically show them the ropes. And then off the court, a lot of these guys, they don't know about how to handle money. They don't know about girls. They don't know about, all the other things of becoming a man. So I have to be, big brother, uncle, dad, if you will, sometimes. So I'm kind of like a counselor / coach at the same time.
It's hard to believe that you, obviously you've got the maturity now to do that, but as I said, I still see you and Joey in the same eyes of just being here at Gallagher and Coach Sutton say, Stevie, what are you doing?
Yeah, it's it takes time. It takes time to mature, and I'm not a spring chicken anymore. I'm a little older. I'm 38 now, and
wow,
got some years under my belt, and I still keep in contact with a couple of guys, John Lucas and Terrence Crawford, Melvin, and Tony, and all those guys. So we get a chance to chop it up here and there. But as you get older, you mature, you get wiser, and things change a little bit. Things slow down, but they speed up. So.
It keeps you young because, generally speaking, you're dealing with a different, 3 or 4 people each year, right, who come in, you have one way or the other, drafted or what have you. So you're dealing with a younger set, if you will, and that keeps you young.
Every year they get younger and younger, and every year they come in and they just want to talk their crap and say, hey, I can't do it anymore. I do that, but I still get out there and bust them up pretty good here and there. So I try not to let them know how old I am, because I don't necessarily look my age, but they think they can still take me in. I just have to let them know that, it's not sweet over here anymore.
You can still play. I guess you're telling me you can still play, right?
Oh, I could definitely still get out there and play. I could probably still go in the NBA right now and play, but, time is different. Times are different.
You spent, 6-7 years in the league with several teams.
Yeah.
You played a lot of games. Pacers, I'm doing this off memory. Was that the most games you played for that particular team?
I believe so. I mean, it's hard to keep track. I keep track more of my coaches winning now, but than playing. But I think I did 2-year stint with Indiana and Brooklyn, or it was New Jersey back then. I had 2 years too. So, I moved around a lot. I was a journeyman. I was just trying to make my way.
How has this league changed since you came in, or has it? I mean, is it still basically the same approach, or are we dealing with a whole lot of different personalities?
Yeah, I mean, as far as the overall, it's pretty much the same. You have a group of young guys that come in and, they have to find their way. When I came in, it was a more veteran-based league. Now the league is definitely a lot younger. There used to be a team full of, 19, 20, 21-year-old kids, and there's probably 10 to 12 of them, versus when I played, the 10 or 12 guys were your 30-plus-year-old guys that were playing, and then maybe you had your couple, rookies, young guys here and there. So it's basically pretty much flipped. But the principles are still the same. The game has gotten just a little bit softer. They more ticky-tack fouls here they call, but the overall game is better. It's a lot faster. The dynamics of the game has changed as far as, people want to see more three-pointers, and the pace is a lot faster. But the game is pretty much the same.
And you guys, when you're playing in front of one of the better fan bases in the league, I think, up in Denver, right?
Oh, yeah. Over the years, we've kind of built up, this fan base. I think since we've had, Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray, those guys who, starting to come and find their way, the fan support out there has just gone up. Denver is more of a football place than a basketball, so we kind of have to make sure these guys get on the map and stay on the map. But we're making our way. I think, every year now that we're going deeper and deeper in the playoffs, we get more and more fan support.
Did you have? I think we covered this a little. You've been tested probably more than you ever want to be tested, but at least it's good. Yeah. It's good news coming back. But will you have to undergo a battery of tests again, or some kind of quarantine before you actually enter the bubble here?
Yeah, well, before I go over there, they're probably going to make me take a couple of tests, and we'll probably go back to the every other day test. I think the guys are still getting tested every other day.
Okay.
And it's for the safety of the guys and everybody over there, and it just makes sense. And, down here in Florida, everything is, kind of down here and it's kind of high right now, so they have to make sure everybody's safe, everybody's healthy, everybody's, doing the proper procedures. So makes sense.
The teams have their own hotel? Do they have their own floor? I mean, how do they work that?
Yeah, so there's 3 different resorts that they have over here.
Right.
And I think it's between the 16 teams that are there. They're all just kind of mixed up and spread out between those. And, each team has, their own significant area. Maybe it's probably 2 floors that the team has. And, you guys, it's their security system by the elevators. You can't go in, you can't go out. You have to go only to your floors. And, you have to leave when you're designated time to leave. And everything is specified and structured with timing and stuff. So it's pretty strategic protocol over there.
We watched with interest around here the basketball tournament. I don't know if you watched it or not, but that's and we had an entrant. I don't know. Do you know Manza? Have you run across Brendan a lot or not? Or
I vaguely here and there. I've seen him here and there, but not too much.
But he was the head coach of the Stillwater Stars. Long story short,
okay.
And they had a pretty good roster getting ready to go to Columbus to play, but the virus took about 4 or 5 players off that roster before they ever got up there. But what I'm getting to is they were in that bubble situation, and Brendan explained it to us when he came back, and it was pretty stringent. I mean, you were in your room pretty much, or you're on the court. That was it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, you guys have to either stay in your room or you have to be practicing. And there's no real roaming around. I think there's an allotted amount of time where guys can go to the pool area and work out and go to the golfing areas and stuff out there. But everything is time based, and you have your set time to go do stuff. So it's very strict.
Yeah, well, they're not asking you to do it for an eternity. They're just asking you to do it for a couple of months. Hey,
just for a little bit.
We would be, and we want to get into this because we haven't talked since, but I'm making the assumption that you saw the Eddie film when it came out, right?
I did.
What were your emotions when you watched it?
Oh man, it was a lot of emotion. You know, it was a lot of stuff that, you know, I didn't know or wasn't privy to knowing, and there's a lot of stuff that, you know, it kind of rekindled some things. You know, there's a lot of stuff that, you know, brought some stuff to light. So it was a very good, well documented, you know, documentary, and you know, hats off to the people who made it, and, you know, my condolences to, you know, coaches, the family, and everybody. So it's tough. You know, I'm glad that they, you know, Coach got into the Hall of Fame, and you know, it's been some time to process, you know, the whole thing.
I'm not sure we've talked since he went into the Hall of Fame. I know Joe. I've had Joey on and several things, but obviously we all felt like it was about time, right?
Yeah, I definitely think it was time. You know, coaches, he was one of those great coaches that, you know, his wins spoke for themselves, you know, and everybody who knew Coach and played under Coach and coached with Coach, that, you know, you knew what kind of guy he was. So I'm just glad he got a chance to get in there, you know, during the time that he did. And I'm sorry it took so long for him, but, you know, he made it. So.
Can you remember, and everybody's got stories, and I'll say it. I mean, he was tough on you and Joey, just using the brother situation, because he wanted you to be as good as you could possibly be. And how many times did he say, if you just do what I tell you, you're going to get in the league, you're going to make it to the league. But it was you didn't leave the court every day with warm and fuzzy feelings for him, because he was hard on you.
Yeah. I mean, as coaches should be. You know, I came from the upbringing of a hard, strict, you know, coaches. And my dad was very tough on us growing up, military base. So having Coach Sutton was just, you know, a pickup from where my dad left off. But, you know, some of the memories that I can remember, one of the specific memories was, you know, a game I think we lost to BYU, and we got out-rebounded by 17 rebounds or something like that. We had to come back, and Coach was, you know, we're getting off the bus, and Coach is saying, like, hey, you know, you guys check in for practice tomorrow. You know, go check in with the football department. You know, we got to go do some football drill stuff. So it was fun, but at the same time, we were like, what is going on here? We didn't really know what to expect. So
I remember that one like it happened yesterday, because he was mad as he could be after that game.
Oh, yeah.
And because he told Sean and you know, said, when we get back, they're going right over there to get T-Joe was the football manager. And he said, you're going to get fitted with helmets and shoulder pads. Now, some of you looked like you should be in helmets and shoulder pads, like you and your brother. There were some who looked like that's the first time they ever put them on.
Right. Well, we had a little football background, so, you know, when we got out there, we were like, all right, well, it's another day of football practice. But for the other guys, you know, John, Lucas, Tony, and all those guys who have never done that before, they didn't know what was going on. They didn't know how to run, to react, and, you know, we had 2 a day, so it was tough, but, you know, it was a lot of fun at the same time.
They're taking a charge, getting on the boards, rebounding, all those things.
It was fun.
I don't know that we might have been out rebounded sometime down the line, but not by that many again.
Nah, that might be a Oklahoma State history record right there as far as getting out rebounded.
What in the world happened in that game? I mean,
I think what was the guy's name? Arroyo, the big guy. He actually got drafted in the pros. He just was a monster on the board. We couldn't have anybody to, you know, box him out, and he just kind of killed us. And, you know, they out-toughed us that game, and they beat us, and they out-toughed us, and we needed a good rear kicking from Coach at that time period. So, and hey, look what it did. It boosted us on. We had a great season after that. Yeah,
and that practice was something to behold. It's still on video somewhere, and
I think it might be on YouTube too.
it was something, you know. And you probably can't talk about an individual. I don't know what the rules and regulations are, but I'll you know that, you know, Cade Cunningham is here this year. He's a regarded as a high pick for the NBA. Just in general, you're not giving him specific advice, but in general, there are a lot of guys who come into programs who think they're going to walk right into the NBA the next year and get a job. And some may, and some might not. I mean, Calipari has about 4 or 5 of them every year in Kentucky. But how difficult is it to jump? I don't care how good you are in college. How difficult is it to go from that college game all the way up to the NBA and get some time?
It's very tough. I mean, you're dealing with, basically boys turning into men. So you have to figure out, how you deal with your time, because you have a whole lot of time on your hand. You have to deal with all this influx of money that you got. Mm-hmm. And if you don't have a good supporting cast around you, guys telling you the right things to do, sometimes guys get, they get lost in the shuffle. If I could give him any advice, I would tell him, pay attention and focus on defense. Defense is going to get him on the court, and then get a niche, figure out what the team has and what they have a need for, and then try to perfect that. So, if he's a point guard, if he's a shooting guard, whatever, if they need a shooter on the team, you got to be the best shooter on that team. So whatever that niche is for him, that's, that's how he'll be able to get in. So,
what is the physical maturity disparity between a real good college player and one who's got to play every day in the NBA?
It's night and day. The pace, the physicality of it. I mean, like I said before, you're basically going from boys to men, and you're not dealing with some college guys who you guys are honky dory, loving life and this and that. Like it's a grind. It's a battle. You got to go out there every day to try to prove the fact that, hey, I'm better than this guy. He's my teammate, but I'm better than him, and I think I should be getting paid more than him. I should be playing more time than him. So it's a thing, the physicality, it takes up a whole another notch, and the details and going into the weight room and getting your body as fine-tuned as possible is definitely key.
Last couple of things. Tell me what the G League has done or not done for the NBA.
G League is actually great. It's changed quite a bit over the years. I know it went from the CBA to the D League to the G League, and everybody keeps changing around. But I think that the development process, having kind of like a minor farm league to bring guys in, I think it's great. I think they should actually in the NBA make it kind of like how baseball is. And once you get drafted, you have to do a little bit of time in the farm leagues and, pay your dues. But unfortunately, it's not like that. We have these young kids who are very talented. Your Luka Doncic guys, the LeBron James guys, and they're just better than everybody. So for those guys, maybe you can put them on the big roster. But I do think everybody that comes in needs to spend a little bit of time in some development process, because the jump is just too drastic for guys. It's a lot. It's a lot to deal with.
All right, last thing, you got to bring us update on the Stevie Graham family. What's going on there?
Oh, Stevie Graham family. Yeah, everything is going good. I got my kids down here now. My daughter's turning 12. My little boy, he just had a birthday. He's 9, and I have another son who he's turning 5 here next week. So my wife is out in Oregon right now and being with her family, so I'm getting some good quality time with my kids, and life is pretty good. I can't complain, and I'm blessed, and my family's doing good. Mom and Dad are still healthy. My brothers, everybody's still doing good. So,
any basketball players in that family? Or is it too early to tell?
Yeah, my son is trying to come around. I'm actually trying to get him into all sports, but I'm more pushing academics on him than anything. My daughter has a passion for the arts and sciences and stuff, so I'm kind of pushing them towards the academic side and the athletic side of things. It's it's a lot of pressure, a lot of stress. I don't want them to have to deal with a lot of stuff that I had to deal with coming out. So.
Hey, it's been too long, obviously. We need to do this more often, but and we might do it after you get inside the bubble. You could be talking to us inside the bubble. That might even be better right there. Stevie, always great to talk to you, man. We see your brother all the time, but I don't see you enough.
Awesome. Stevie, is always good to hear from you, man.
And we will wish Denver luck as they make their way through what's going to be the rest of the NBA season, and we'll be back in touch. Let me know when you get in there. We'll try to get you back on, see what's going on.
Will do. I appreciate it. Good talking to you, DD.
All right, buddy. I appreciate you. Stevie Graham.